Well, is this the week that we find out? Of course, I'm talking about LeBron James. Does LeBron James make his decision this week? That's to be talked about at the end of this episode of the Cleveland Sports Report. My name is Nick Brolis. Thank you for tuning in. My Twitter handle is at the bottom of the screen, @mbrolis. Email me, nickbrolis8404 @yahoo.com. More on the Cavs in just a little bit, but first we're going to talk some Indians baseball for you. Tribe comes away with a 4-1 victory over the Kansas City Royals today, taking 2 of 3 from a divisional foe. And if you look at the schedule right now, the teams are heading into the All-Star break. The Indians welcome the New York Yankees into town for a 4-game series and then welcome the White Sox in for a 3-game series. The Indians are still within 500 with a record of 43-44. And I've told you guys before, I would be happy if the Indians are at least 500 going into the All-Star break. Now here's the thing. This homestand was critical for the Indians because they have 2 of the 3 opponents were division rivals. And of course, as you know, what that means is that if you can beat your divisional rivals, not only do you either bring them down, depending on where they're at, but you can also gain ground on them if they're ahead of you, which the Royals are. So, the Indians really need to take advantage of this homestand. I'm hoping they take at least 3 out of the 4 out of the Yankees. If you want to, sweep them. But they really need to take care of the White Sox, who aren't that far behind them. So with that being said, again, the Indians, and I'm not going to stay on Major League Baseball very much because I got only 10 minutes to do this. The Indians, it's crucial that they stay within 500 going into the All-Star break. And if they can do that, I give them a 50% chance of getting to that second wild card. Not the first, but the second. But as we all know, the offense is shaky. But that's it with the Indians. Of course, I want to bring up with you guys, before we get into anything else, the standings, of course. Over here in the American League, Baltimore is 47-40 in first place, followed by the Blue Jays at 47-42. The Yankees are 44-43. The Red Sox are at 39-48, followed by the Rays at 40-50. Over here in the Central, Detroit's still in first place with a record of 48-36. And the Kansas City Royals are at 45-42. Indians 43-44. White Sox 42-47. Twins are at 39-48. And over in the West, the A's are in first place, followed by the Angels, Seattle, Texas, and Houston. Over in the National League, in the East, the Braves are in first place, followed by the Nationals, the Marlins, the Mets, and Philadelphia. Over in the Central, you have the Milwaukee Brewers in first place, followed by the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Reds, and the Cubs. And to finish off this segment of Major League Baseball here on the Cleveland Sports Report, the West is pretty close for the most. I mean, not close, but there's really only 2 teams. Dodgers in the first place. San Francisco's right behind them. And then 9.5 games back are the Padres, followed by the Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, all you Ohio State fans, here you go. Season's getting close to starting. First game is over in Baltimore. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the recruitment as of right now. Justin Hilliard, a 4-star linebacker from Cincinnati St. Xavier. That was a big get for the Buckeyes. They've got to continue to strengthen that defense. Actually, more so on the secondary. As you remember, we got lit up last year. Not that this guy's going to play really anytime soon. I mean, maybe if he gets lucky, he gets on the field this year, depending on how Ohio State does. Then you have Jashawn Cornell, 4-star defensive end from St. Paul, Minnesota, followed by Nick Connor, who is a 4-star linebacker out of Dublin, Ohio, and Eric Glover Williams, a 4-star athlete right here from Canton. They haven't put him in a position yet. I think it's just because Urban Meyer wants to see where he's good at. So, You also have Grant Schmidt, a 4-star offensive lineman from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Rivals.com has their top 5. Bama number 1, Texas A&M number 2, Clemson number 3, South Carolina number 4, Penn State 5, Ohio State is ranked 15th. But check this out. ESPN has Bama ranked number 1, Clemson 2, Texas A&M 3, Penn State 4, Auburn 5, Ohio State's number 6. It's quite a difference if you ask me, so of course I'm going to keep up to date with that. And don't forget, I told you guys last week on the show that I am going to be having my college football preview edition of the Cleveland Sports Report as soon as I get my Phil Steele magazine and read over it and study it. So we're going to see what Ohio State's going to be capable of doing this year. I've already actually looked at Phil Steele, his website, philsteele.com, if you want to check that out. Ohio State is supposedly going to be ranked number 6 when the standings come out. There's only 3 Big Ten teams, that Michigan State and Wisconsin. So again, the Big Ten's going to be looked at as a cupcake conference, if you will. That's terrible. On the Browns front, they were attempting to sign Brian Hoyer to a long-term extension, but it's not looking like it's going to happen because he's only got 3 games under his belt. How can you sign a guy to a long-term deal when he's only got 3 games under his belt? He'd be stupid to sign a long-term contract right now, because if he signs one for such a little amount and he comes out and just throw the lights out, so to speak, that doesn't benefit him. So that's not happening. And speaking of Brian Hoyer and him being hurt all of last year for the most part, thanks to those knee ligaments being torn. Remember the guy that tackled him? Buffalo Bills linebacker Kiko Alonso? Hey, you guys read the article about this, you know where I'm going. During minicamp, he tore his ligaments. Same knee. And guess what? He's out for the season. How ironic. How weird is that? I don't know. You tell me. And don't forget, Browns fans, if you do want to attend training camp this year in Berea, you do have to register at Browns.com. I've already registered. I'm going to camp on July 30th, I believe, which is a Thursday. And Family Day, Saturday, August 2nd, 11:30 to 2, up at InfoCision Stadium, up in Akron. It's free. It's a good chance to go out and see the Browns scrimmage one another, see how good they are, and of course, see Johnny Manziel. Training camp opens up this month for all teams, and I got your dates for all the teams right here. Cardinals 26th, Falcons 25th, Ravens 24th, Bills 20th, Panthers 25th, Bears 25th, Bengals 24th, Browns 26th, Cowboys 24th, Broncos 24th, Lions 28th, Packers 26th, Texans 26th, Colts 24th, Jags 25th, Chiefs 24th, Dolphins 21st, Vikings 25th, Patriots 24th, Saints 25th, Giants 24th, Jets 24th, Raiders 25th, Eagles 26th, Steelers 26th, Rams 25th, Chargers 24th, 49ers 24th, Seahawks 25th, Buccaneers 25th, Titans 26th, and rounding it off, the Redskins are opening up the 24th. Now, the part you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. Let's talk some NBA, shall we? Of course, the 2 big topics. Where is LeBron James going to end? Where is Carmelo Anthony going to end up? I've been telling you guys now, this will probably make it 5 straight shows. In my opinion, LeBron James is coming back home. You've all also probably been wondering, well, you really haven't told us your reasons, although you said you had. Well, I wrote down my 3 reasons, and here they are. 1, LeBron James is on record as saying he wants a max deal. Well, here's the thing. Miami can offer him the extra year and $30 million more, which takes him up to, I believe, $130 million, while the Cavs can only offer $95. Well, okay, so you get $30 million more staying in Miami. Here's the 2 wild cards. Most of you might disagree with me on this, and that's fine. That's fine. But here's my thing. If you take LeBron James off of Miami, you put the two rosters together, and you say, okay, well, I still think Miami's better. I don't. Let's not just include the starters here. Let's bring in the bench. You put Varejao on the bench. You put Thompson on the bench, and Dion Waiters on the bench, because you've got Kyrie, who's better than any point guard Miami's got by far. You put in Andrew Wiggins there at the number 2. Well, that's already better than what Miami has to offer right then and there. Chris Bosh, yeah, he's an all-star. He's not a superstar. Never did consider him a superstar. Dwayne Wade has been on the decline as far as I'm concerned for 2 years. Not 1, but 2 years. You may disagree with me on that. That's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion. If you, my point is, you take LeBron off that Miami Heat team, I say the Cavs are just as good as Miami. Maybe even a little bit better. Number 3. I'm sure you've heard of the term happy wife, happy life. It's been talked about. Savannah does not want to be in Miami. She wants to be back home in Akron. LeBron wants his kids brought up in Akron schools. Most of you may not understand this or even have brought this into the equation, but I'm telling you this right now. Family has a lot more to do with where a player plays than what most people think. And I'm telling you right now, she's going to have a bigger impact on his decision than what most of you may think. So, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. LeBron is, if he proves me wrong, okay. So he stays in Miami. I just think it's going to either come down to Cleveland or Miami, and I think he's coming home. That's my opinion. Those are my reasons. Now, staying on the Cavs real quick, Spencer Hawes is gone. He signed a 4-year, $23 million deal with the Clippers. Obviously, he's going to be a backup behind DeAndre Jordan out there in what used to be called as Lob City. And then C.J. Miles agreed to a 4-year, $18 million deal to go to the Pacers, so he's staying in the Central, but just going over to Indiana. So, Carmelo Anthony, he has said it's coming down to either the Lakers or the Knicks. I really don't care where he ends up, because I still don't think that the Lakers would make the playoffs with Carmelo Anthony. I don't consider him a superstar. I never have, because in my opinion, he's not. He's an all-star, but he's not LeBron. He's just not. He's not LeBron. He's not even as good as Kevin Durant, in my opinion. I will say this. Carmelo Anthony is a great player, but he is not a superstar. So, that's my opinion. Now, as for the NBA Summer League, the Las Vegas NBA Summer League is starting on July the 11th. The Cavs' first game is against the Bucks at 5 p.m. The second game is against the Spurs on the 13th at 1. And the third game against the 76ers at 5 p.m. And unfortunately, they have not released their Summer League roster out, but I'm sure by the next CSR, which will be the middle of this week, I should have that for you. And hopefully, LeBron will have made his decision by then where he's playing. So, with that being said, my name is Nick Rollis. Please, feel free to let me know about what you think about what all I had just to say, because I'm curious. I really am. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, or wonderful week, and I look forward to bringing you some new material to new stuff on the next edition of the Cleveland Sports Report. Everybody, have a wonderful week.